Okay, hey everybody. So I've been promising to make this video for quite some time now, and today's the day. I need to get this video out there and online. Um, let's just say sooner rather than later. So, okay, I have spent most of my life in education, and over the course of that time, I don't know how many times I've run into, and I used to have the same philosophy, so don't get me wrong, but I don't know how many times I've run into people who say, I'm not going to vote, my vote doesn't matter, blah, 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 blah. I get it. Utah is a largely red state. Um, so you're right. Presidentially, a lot of times our vote doesn't matter. And actually, in our current political system, I don't even know that if our votes were counted accurately and legally, it would still matter. Because, yes, the system is rigged. But it's not just rigged by the opposing party. Okay? Democrats, it's not just Republicans that have rigged it. Republicans, it's not just Democrats that have rigged it. Independents, it's not just the main parties that have rigged it. It's the money people who have rigged your elections. And money people, like it or not, come from all walks of life. They come from all political parties, all genders, all races. Those with the money are controlling the vote, but here's why. They're controlling the vote because you've let them. Because you and I have let them. For too long, we let them do little bits here and little bits there and little bits here and little bits there, to the point where the system is so corrupt, it's hard to get anything of merit passed. Are you kidding me? It's a game. You toss this, they toss it back. You try to sneak this in under, they find it. So on and so forth, and nothing gets done. And yeah, we're all pissed. And you want to know? A lot has happened this year, right? 2020, the year from hell. A lot has happened this year. We get hit with the pandemic, but even before the pandemic, guys, we were all right on the precipice. I mean, the Democratic primary convention was a joke. And I'm sorry, if you can't see it, then at this point, you are too lazy to do the research. You're either willfully ignorant, which that's, I guess, I can't help you. No one can help you if you're willfully ignorant. Or you're ignorant through lack of effort, then you're lazy. Because there's no reason to be ignorant in today's society, period. You can find out anything online, which is why right now I'm doing this video as I pull up research. I was going to kind of do a lot of the research ahead of time, but there's been a lot going on in my life, so I've been struggling with like surgeries and follow-up surgeries and appointments and injections and a bunch of other shit. And I'm holding it together today, but just for today and just for this video. Anyway, so it's easy to do the searches. My God, use your search engine of your choice. It doesn't matter, but stop listening to one stupid news source. Stop listening to your friends and your neighbors and your clergymen and your prophets and your teachers and whoever. Stop just listening and start doing. Okay. The greatest power that the super rich have been able to achieve is to get you, the individual, to consign yourself to having absolutely no power. They've succeeded. They've done that. The majority of you out there think it's so useless to try that you stop trying. And so you're happy to get up in the morning. Well, you're not happy, but you're resigned to getting up in the morning feeling like shit, going to a job that you hate, working alongside people that you don't necessarily get along with. By the time you get home, you're so exhausted, tired, and your family is struggling and they're exhausted, tired, because all the stresses, they just keep heaping stress on every part of this unit to the point where you resign yourself to sitting in front of the TV and watching crap. I mean, we don't even ask ourselves to think in front of the TV anymore. We watch shit for TV. And that shit that is in the TV has translated to what we think life should be like. And so we have elected a president who is basically the worst reality star in the world. And that's the best thing he does. But you elected him. I didn't. But you all who did elected him. And I'm talking to those of you who stayed home too, and those of you who voted for the Green Party or the at this point in this juncture, an individual vote for the candidate of your choice is not going to change anything on a national level. And this is why I'm making this video to you now, because the most important thing about the elections that are happening every day right now across the country, in Utah, in Arizona, in New York, California, everywhere there is an election going on, and I mean every election, from your state senators, your governors, all the way down to your local mayor and city councilman. Every single election is vital for you to participate in at this point, because those smaller elections where your vote really does matter, that's where you're going to start to do change. Okay? Now, I don't want to jump around a lot, but I'm doing this fly by the seat of my pants, off the cuff. Let's talk a little bit about the Bernie thing. So, hey, I'm tired of hearing that. I am tired, and you all should be too. I'm tired of hearing the old adage, blue no matter who, or better red than dead, or whatever. That assumes that party voting is the best way to go. And it's not. It's absolutely not. And I'll be damned if you will ever hear me say blue no matter who, because I'm going to tell you right now, Joe Biden is a piss poor fucking candidate for president. Period. And I don't give a shit what all you diehard Democrats say out there. He is a poor choice. He is marginally better than Donald Trump. And this is what has people angry. Because you want to know why so many people voted for Trump the last round? Because you put before them Hillary, which was nothing more than business as usual. Nobody wants business as usual. They don't. And the problem is this minority loud voice of people is controlling the way the majority thinks and feels, because they've made them feel hopeless, useless, disconnected. They've made them feel like a minority. So in the Democratic primary, we had 27, 30 some odd candidates all running out at the same time. I'm like, great. Hey, the more the merrier. Fantastic. But when it started to whittle down, you guys, and I'm not going to do the research for you anymore. All you got to do, stop pretending that history started last week. Stop pretending that the news cycle only goes back 3 days. You have to pay attention. You have to retain this information, and you have to watch and listen and track and learn, because if not, then you are going to be subject to whatever the populace tells you, because you have no facts to back up your claims. Now, I have been watching, I have been listening, I have been paying attention, and I want you to go back and check on my words. Check what I'm saying to you. Do your research. I don't want you to trust me. I want you to Google or Bing everything I tell you in this video. Research it on your own. Okay, so we start to ramp up the election process for 2020. We know that we've got to beat Trump, right? Those of us who are smart or have half a brain or any brain in our head knows that we have to get this maniac, this fascist dictating maniac, perverted, sociopathic, arrogant asshole out of office. So the candidates start to form, and there's some really promising candidates. Bernie Sanders is, I think, the front runner because, hey, he garnered the most support back when Hillary was running for the candidate. And for those of you who don't believe that 2016 was completely rigged against Bernie, well, again, go back, check your history. Okay? I know for a fact from people who were there that the Utah Democratic primary was completely rigged. Just ask anyone who attended and who voted. Okay? Anyway, back on track. So so the candidates start ramping up, and Bernie is raising a crap ton of money, lots of money. Now, statistics and polls and all of that, I could care less. I don't think polling gives you an accurate interpretation of anything. And right now, the polls are telling you that Biden is a shoo-in and Trump is losing in popularity. Those exact same polls told you that Hillary was a shoo-in and Trump would never be president. Don't trust the polls. The polls can be skewed. Statistical data can be skewed. What I trust is the money. And you can track the money. In fact, I will give you my first website link right now where you can track the money. If you go to, let me do a real quick search here. This will give you an idea of how easily it is to find it. All I did was I typed in money raised by Democratic candidates 2019. I just typed that in and here we go. I'm going to skip past NPR and Forbes and Newsweek and all of these Politico and all those because they all have agenda. They all have an agenda. If you go to instead, Ballotpedia works. Ballotpedia is okay, but there's another one that let me see here. Dang it. God, where was it? Okay, this is Open Secrets. See, it didn't take me very long. How long was that? Did you time it? I'll bet it was under 5 minutes. So if you go to opensecrets.org, opensecrets.org gives you, a complete breakdown of financial disclosures and their net worth, campaign and outside committees lists, sector totals, industry totals, small donors, all of these things. And if we go in there and we look at even today, which I don't know the last time this was updated. I think the last time this was updated was prior to a lot of these people dropping out of the race. But I'm going to scroll down to Bernie Sanders, Democrat. Let's see what his current totals were as of, let's see, the date on this says June 26th. So that's not that long ago. That's actually not that long ago. And he's still raising money. He's raised over $180 million total raised, 211,173,054. That's from the campaign committee, of which from outside groups was like a little over 3 million. But anyway, so it tells you the source of the funds, how much money they've raised, and you can compare them to everybody else. For example, now Bernie's out of the race. Let's look at how much Biden has raised. For a grand total right now, Biden has raised 211,150,197 as of, when was that? The 26th of June? So a couple of days ago. So 211 million basically, as opposed to another 211 million. Bernie Sanders has raised as much money. Those are people who want Bernie Sanders, even though Bernie Sanders has dropped out of the race. Now, Bernie Sanders has already said he's going to back Biden because way early on in the race, here's how this went down. Way early on in the race, his finances, he was raising so much more money than any other candidate, right? And he was the front runner, popularity-wise, everything. And remember that very first Democratic debate? Everybody on that stage, well, barring maybe 2 or 3, almost everybody on that stage swore that they backed Medicare for all, which was Bernie Sanders' plan. Let's get this straight. Nobody else had that plan but Bernie Sanders. All of you Elizabeth Warren people can go cry in a corner. And I love Elizabeth Warren. Hell, I would have taken either one of them. Okay, but it was Bernie's plan. And Elizabeth Warren was backing Bernie's plan up until la-di-da little twist. But then slowly after that, and they were cornered on it by like the major media outlets who, let's face it, are run by big money, right? Insurance money mostly, but big money. They all cornered them, and they all just kind of backtracked and said, oh, well, Medicare for all, but maybe not right away, or just Medicare for some, or we're not going to do it with private insurance, blah, 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 blah. And Bernie was no holds barred. He was open and honest. We're going to do away with private insurance, period. Private insurance can cover the elective surgeries now. And if you look at his Medicare for all plan, guys, that's printable. I printed it out. It's 300 some odd pages. It's less than a really good novel size. Granted, it's a little dry reading, but it's worth it to read it. And if you don't want to read it, you can get it on audio book or audio tape, or you can even just put it up on your computer and tell your computer to read it to you. Turn on the play button and have it read it to you while you're making dinner or bathing or showering or whatever. Anyway, I'm fragmenting. So he was raising a lot of money. They started, every time a candidate, one of those Democratic primary candidates, backtracked on Medicare for all, their popular, look at it, look it up, their numbers dipped. They crashed because people in this country are sick and tired. And those of you who say, oh, I love my insurance, you don't really love your insurance. You love your provider, right? Nobody loves their insurance. Nobody loves shelling out money only to have to pay even more money if they have to take a claim, right? Or have a huge deductible or anything like that. But the major media outlets had you convinced that Medicare for all would force you to give up your premium insurance that you have. You wouldn't be able to, but it wasn't your insurer. They had talked you into this idea that you would have to give up your provider. That's not true. That is false, fake. Look it up. Not only would you be able to keep your provider, because all providers would be under the Medicare for all plan, because if everyone's on it, they're getting paid enough to cover you on it. Anyway, which is why it can't be Medicare for some, because that doesn't work. Anyway, look it up. Not only would you have your provider, you would have no deductible, no co-pays, right? No premiums. So imagine your insurance as is right now, the provider that you love to go to. Now take away your co-pays, $0 out of pocket for prescriptions, co-pays to the doctor, all of that. No deductibles, so you go in for a surgery or something, $0 out of pocket. No premiums, no monthly payments, period. Same provider, all those benefits. you're telling me that you would rather keep your insurance that you have now. I don't care how good it is, through your employer, whatever, through your union. It's not as good as that. I guarantee it. So, anyway, Americans love Medicare for all. And Bernie didn't stop there. Bernie went on to say we're going to eliminate student debt. We're going to provide free college. We're going to do the Green New Deal. And everybody started asking, how are you going to pay for it? How are you going to pay for it? But the only reason they were asking how you're going to pay for it is because that's what the major media outlets kept harping on. You can't do that. You can't afford to do that. How are you going to afford to do that? And Bernie had a very simple answer. He's going to tax the rich. Now, let's define rich, because everybody likes to think, oh, you're not going to tax me 70%. You are not one of the 1%. If you are listening to my videos on YouTube or following me on Facebook or whatever, you are not one of the 1%. Bernie was specifically targeting those who made, I want you to listen to this very carefully, those who made in excess of $70 million every year. $70 million every year. If you don't make 70 million every year, you are not on that list. And how much was he going to tax them? Well, $70 million, same as always. $70 million and $1 on just that $1, 70%. So, oh my God, 70%, that means on my 70 millionth and $1, I have to pay 70 cents? Every dollar above that 70 millionth and $1, 70%. You can still make up to $70 million a year and not get taxed on it. Even if you go over, they're not going to tax your $70 million. They're only going to tax, let's say you make $100 million a year. Well, then they're going to tax the $30 million you made over that. 70%. Now, one of my coworkers once said, you can't do that. They earned that money. Well, let's face it. People who are making that much money, they didn't go out to work for that. Okay, they may have started a business and worked really hard on the business, but then the business got to a certain point where they tipped the scale, and then their money was making money. Okay, and once their money's making money, some of them get a little greedy. The majority of them get a little greedy. Now, I'm not against rich people owning fun, fancy things. A rich person makes $70 million, decides to go out and buy a yacht. More power to them. Yachts are awesome. Would I ever own one? Probably not. Good houseboat would be nice, but yachts. Okay, let's say I'm really extravagant and I have money to burn, and I'm like, okay, give me a yacht. One yacht is fine. 7 yachts is excessive. It's perverse. It's greed. 1 mansion is fine. Maybe even 2 houses, right? One on the ocean, one in the mountains. Okay, I'll afford you that. $1 million mansion in every city in every state? Excessive. So, and even less than that. I mean, let's face it, right? Estate, big $1 million mansions. At $70 million a year, do you know how many of those you could have? Okay, all right. So, all of those were his plans, and he was doing great. And then, you know, if you go back and watch this, it became like a neck-and-neck race between Bernie and Buttigieg. Bernie and Buttigieg. And Buttigieg kept saying lots of flowery stuff, but had no plans. I'm sorry, all of my gay male friends, Buttigieg had no plans. And those of you who were not gay and male and still back Buttigieg, he had no plans. He never said like towards the very end, he started kind of saying he had a plan, but go back and look. It took almost to the very end of the primary elections before he started talking about plans. And the major media outlets pushed him a lot and railed on Bernie a lot. Go back and watch the footage. Watch it on any channel you want to watch it on. CNN, C-SPAN, CNBC, MSNBC, Fox, wherever you want to watch it, watch them. But get the full story. So Buttigieg kind of took a huge population, but he didn't take all of it. We still had Klobuchar that had a small sum. We had Elizabeth Warren who had a fairly decent sum. We had Biden who had some, but Biden was like, he was either in fourth place or third place depending upon which day. He vacillated between third and fourth. There were very few times he made it into second. So we get to Super Tuesday. Super Tuesday is vitally important. Up until that point, Bernie's been smashing it, slamming it home. But Super Tuesday is a lot of states that go out and vote. And what happens just prior to Super Tuesday, go back and look. I think it happened like 2 to 3 days before. Buttigieg drops out for no reason. He was not lower than Biden in the polls. He and Bernie were still neck and neck. Go back and check it. But he drops out. Whether it was because he sensed momentum slowing or whatever, maybe he just thought, I don't really have a plan, so when it comes to the debates, I'm going to lose if it's just me and Bernie debating it out. I don't know. But he drops out and he throws his support behind Biden, so then all of those people, or a vast majority of the people that were supporting Buttigieg, jump in behind Biden. In that same day, Klobuchar also drops out, throws her support back behind Biden. It may not have been the same day, maybe the next day. Kamala Harris, who had already dropped out, throws her support behind Biden. Cory Booker throws his support behind. Nobody threw their support behind Bernie. The only person we were hoping would throw their support behind Bernie was Elizabeth Warren, and Elizabeth Warren couldn't throw her support behind Bernie because she had burned him during one of the primary debates, which, go back and watch that question again. Guys, that question was bullshit. Okay? The question, I'll verbatim quote it for you. The question, not verbatim. The question basically was, Senator Sanders, what were you thinking when you told Elizabeth Warren that a woman could never be president? He said, I didn't. Okay? So then they asked Elizabeth Warren, the very next question, they go, so Senator Warren, what did you think when Bernie told you that a woman could never be president? Are you guys dense? Do you not hear how that is a leading? Anybody who has any kind of expertise in debate or law, or even have watched a freaking episode of Law and Order, ought to know that that's a leading question. Right? And Elizabeth Warren said, I told him he was wrong. So then she goes over to talk to him with a hot mic and says, what are you just called me a liar on national television? He said, we'll talk about it later. And everybody, that really did not bode well for Elizabeth Warren. She sank in the polls after that because everybody could see what was going on. A majority of Americans are not stupid. They know what's happening. Okay? But all this support got thrown behind Biden. That happened. Then they, like it or not, this happened and it had an effect. Okay? A lot of polling stations started to get closed early. A lot of polling locations were closed down altogether. Either way, Super Tuesday was lost to Biden. But Bernie was still raising more money than Biden, even after Super Tuesday. So again, follow the money. But primary after primary after primary after that, what happened? Polls would close early. Polling stations were closed elsewhere. The major media and everybody fell in line behind Biden and kept saying, why is Bernie still in the race? Why is Bernie still in the race? Well, because the race wasn't over yet. And then we had the disaster of COVID hit, and that, don't get me wrong, guys, this is not it. Those of you who keep on trying to harp on these conspiracy theories, we'll get to conspiracy theories in a minute, but you're wrong, okay? So the COVID threw everything out the window because you couldn't go out and vote, absolutely, right, because of COVID. But they still held voting anyway, even though they shouldn't have. A lot of these places, they should have delayed the election until we had a vaccine. But no, we wanted to, let's rush to get Biden in there. Anyway, so like it or not, Biden is now the Democratic nominee. Okay, I got that out of the way. Now, even though I just told you I don't believe in blue no matter who, I don't, right? I think Biden is a piss poor candidate. But come November, I am going to vote for Biden 100%. I will rush to the polls if I have to. I will mail in my ballot early if I have to. Whatever it takes, I'm going to vote for that man because we cannot have this fascist dictator in office for 4 more years. Am I happy about that choice? Hell no. But I like what somebody said. I can't remember who it was on one of these political news, independent news organizations that I listen to. Somebody said, don't vote for Biden as president per se. Vote for Biden as the person who you will be running against in 2024. Vote for him as the opponent. Right? That's a good idea. Because we get him into office, get Trump the hell out. He can't keep manipulating Supreme Court justices and crap, taking away our liberties. Get him the hell out of office. Get Biden in there, at least things go back to business as usual, which nobody likes. And then we start concentrating on 2024. Which now brings me to the ultimate context of this video. Your local elections. They are 100% vital. You guys, we are overturning politics as usual in every local election. Look at them. In 2018, we got not just one. This wasn't a fly-by-night, oh my God, miracle on 42nd Street. This Ocasio-Cortez gets elected. All odds against it, she gets elected and kicks out a 40-year incumbent or something like that. Like everybody thought he was just going to have another term. No, she kicks him out. Ilhan Omar, boom, kicks out an incumbent. Ayanna Pressley, boom, kicks out an incumbent. We got 4 independent, progressive-style candidates elected into office in 2018. Now, if you look in just the last year's cycle of all these local elections, we have them popping up everywhere. Progressive candidates, when they're on the ballot, are winning. They're winning against incumbents. People who thought they'd never be primaried before are suddenly being primaried, and they're losing. And it's because, again, it's because people are fed up. People are angry. You want to know these riots and the protests that are happening all across the country? Yes, the majority of it, absolutely 100%, Black Lives Matter, and the fact that the police brutality is absolutely insane and stupid and needs to be stopped, period. Okay? But there's also all of these other people who are right there alongside them saying, yes, not only are Black Lives Matter and they're top on our list, but this other shit that's going on needs to stop. It all needs to stop. It all needs to go away. This is as close as you can come to anarchy without complete and utter anarchy. Okay? And trust me, there are a lot of young people out there who are okay with complete and utter anarchy. They're okay with riots galore. They're okay with bringing out the bats and the guns and the billy clubs and going to town because they're angry. It's not that they're opportunists. They're angry. But we can stop that. We can bypass a violent revolution. And I'm talking to some specific students of mine. You'll know who you are. We can bypass a violent revolution if we just understand our power as individuals in groups. So, let's talk about that. Your local elections. It's important that you get out there and you vote on everything local. Your local city councilman, your local mayor, your local resolutions, your city resolutions, your statewide resolutions. You must get out and vote. Now, let me tell you why. Here's just a sampling of some numbers that I wrote down. Okay, so the total number of people who voted in 2018 in Utah, the total number, that's all age demographics, that's everybody. The total number who voted were 767,575 people. That's a pretty high number, but that's the total number. Now, for my young students, those of you who are turning 18, right, or who have turned 18, or some of you who turned 18 a while ago, I crunched some numbers for you. In Utah, the number of people aged 20 are 130,000 males, 125,000 females. Age 25, 117,000 males, 112,000 females. Age 30, 112,000 males, 109,000 females. Now, just as a side note, that age 20, largest demographic in the state. Largest demographic in the state. Well, there's one age larger, and I think it's age 5. so they can't vote. So that brings a total number of people voting age between 20 and 30 years old to 705,000 people. The total number, again, of people who voted, all ages, 767,575. And not all of them voted Republican. Hopefully you see where I'm headed with this. If you united, even I'll bet if you united half of the people between ages 20 and 30 of voting age behind a single cause or a single candidate, you would own that election. Are you hearing me? You would own that election. You want Utah to stop being a red state? You have the power. You have the power. It is vital that you get out and you vote, because if you don't get out and vote and you keep on doing business as usual is going to keep happening. The middle class is going to continue to disappear. The rich are going to get way, way, way more rich, and the poor are going to get way, way, way more poor. And you will be subject to a king who calls themselves a president. Okay, so that's just the political stats on the numbers. Now, what should we do with that? Okay, there's lots of things you should do. I'm going to give you a number of places where you can follow people on the issues and get your news, but I'm telling you, what you want to do anytime a ballot comes out is check it. Check who's running. Check their voting record. Check their history. To my Mormon friends out there, you know, there's this really, I think, pretty vital concept, whether you still believe or not. I think it's a pretty cool concept, whether it's religious or not. By their fruits ye shall know them. People can say anything they want. I have a lot of people in my life that love to do this. They talk, but when it comes to walking, they're nowhere to be found. By their fruits ye shall know them. Look at your candidates. You want to find out what their voting record is? Here you go. First site you need to go to. ontheissues.org. ontheissues.org. That will give you every single presidential contender, Democratic contender, withdrawn Republican independent contenders, and statewide. You can, if I click here on Utah, it brings me up governor, mayors, pundits, Senate, House, former candidates, office holders, debates, and books. It tells me what everybody's voting record, what they said on all the issues are right there in one website. You don't even have to you just need to know the person's name. Scroll down alphabetically, you got it. On the issues.org, first website. Write these down or go to them right now and bookmark them, whatever you need to do. Shoot, I just erased that one. Where I got the numbers for population, let me show you right now. So history today, there we go. World Population Review, that's worldpopulationreview.com, and I just went to Utah, states, Utah population. They have all the statistics for your population and your demographics. Use that to find out your demographics for your local county. You'll know how many people you need to get out to go vote, okay? Now, where I told you about the money, and I think I already went over this, but let me reiterate it again. If you want to find out how much money your candidates have raised and I think this is strictly to presidential races, but Open Secrets, that's opensecrets.org. Go visit that site and you can find out how much money all of the various candidates raised and how much they're continuing to raise, okay? Now, I'm going to give you 3 sites for your fact checking, and you must go to these sites and fact check everything. Do not, the days of us listening to news outlets, I don't care who they are, CNN, MSNBC, Fox, CBS, ABC, NBC, I don't care who they are. If you listen to one news channel, or even if you listen to 5 news channels and they're all major media cable networks, you're missing the truth. Okay? But you don't go to YouTube either, or Facebook for your news. For the love of God, don't go to Facebook for your news. You want to check the facts on something? Here's 3 sites. The simplest one, and this one is mostly for like urban myths and things, but they also have like, COVID facts, and they're pretty good about it. They're on the bottom of my list of 3, okay? Snopes.com. The way you spell that is that's S as in Sam, NOPES.com. Snopes.com, okay? That's one site. The next site you want to go to, this is probably number 2 on my list of sites. PolitiFact. 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 PolitiFact.com. This one is pretty good, although they sometimes feels like sometimes they have a bit of a bias, but they try to say they're unbiased, and as far as unbiased sites go, they're probably one of the better ones. So PolitiFact. Last one, and this is the number 1. This is the site I go to the most out of any of them. Factcheck.org. 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 Those are the 3 sites you go to check your facts. It's okay. All right? It's okay to have to research. It's okay to open up your laptop or to get on a computer and type in a query. What's not okay is to not do that. What's not okay is to blindly let some moron lead you down a path because it's safe, or because it's easy, or because you don't want to rock the boat. Rock the boat. This is the way to do it. Okay? And stop saying that your vote doesn't matter. Okay? Stop saying that, because it does. The more we go out there, the more we elect progressive candidates on a local level, that will bleed through up to a national level. And then by the time 2024 rolls around, oh, progressive revolution, watch out. They'll take everything. And think about it. Think about a nation that is the most powerful nation on the planet. Think about it focused on real issues of justice, of environmentalism, of education, of health care. Imagine a government finally focused on you, the individual. This does not mean we get rid of the rich or the poor. There's always going to be people who will be poor. Some people just, that's where they, I mean, it's not that they want to be poor. That's a bad way to phrase it. But they've got what they want out of life. They don't want more than that. They're good. There's people who are a little more ambitious, and when they get to their goals, they've got what they want in life, and that's good. And then there are people who really want the golden spoon, and they're going to shoot for it. We should let them do that. But when they get to a point where it's excessive and it's perverse, it's time they give back. Not all of it. They can still, hey, at $70 million a year, you can still be pretty perverse, right? But you can start to give back. You can start to give to those who helped you get there. Because let's face it, you didn't get there alone. You got there by stepping on the backs of the consumers that lifted you there. And we're the great consumer. Okay? A couple of other things real quick before I end the video. There's I should probably tell you to go to this website as well. There's a organization, Wolfpack.org, I believe. There's an organization out there who is striving to get money out of politics, period. All the money gone out of politics. And that's the way it should be. We're done. We're done letting high-powered, highly financed lobbyists control the government for us, the people. So there's an organization called Wolfpack. They are focused on getting money out of politics. Let me make sure I've got the right site. What the heck? Okay, get me out of here. Bing. Wolfpack. The Wolf-Pack. And you got to be careful because there's a lot of horrible sites out there that try to trick you. Not horrible as in their porn, but there was a wolfpack.org, I think, that is not Wolfpack. It's some other thing altogether. Wolf-Pack.com. That's WOLF-PAC.com. And they are completely focused on getting money out of politics. All right? This is what they say. Add a 28th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution that will ensure the integrity of our elections and establish a government accountable to the people. They're not even looking to just get people elected and pass it through Congress and the Senate. They're looking to add an amendment. The reason they're looking to add an amendment is because it's easier. You put an amendment in there, and guess what? Money is out of politics. Without money in politics, you lose the NRA, being able to lobby so that we don't get any reasonable gun laws. You lose the oil industry, not being able to finance all sorts of corrupt deals through politicians. Sorry, my hair is a mess. It's been a rough day today. Anyway, so wolf-pack.com. Okay. Hopefully I got through to you guys. I don't know what else to do. I know that this is an hour-long video, but it's worth watching it. So I hope y'all watch. I hope you all take away from this that you have power and that you can accomplish things if you work together, guys. There's no greater crisis in the history of this country than right now, to which people need to fall in line behind each other and support each other. Okay? Make everyone's fight your fight. And hopefully everyone else will make your fight their fight. Okay? Together we cannot be stopped. Now, okay, there's one other thing I kind of wanted to cover before I say goodbye. We are coming up on the 4th of July in this country, and usually it's a time for everybody to go out and attend parades or go to the fireworks or whatever, and I'm going to make a request. I'm going to put it out there into the ether. If it goes somewhere, great. If not, well, I tried. I'm going to suggest that this year, especially this year, with everything that is going on in this country that is a violation of individual rights and the people as a whole, I'm going to suggest that you stay home. This 4th of July, don't go to the parade. Stay home. Save your money. Don't go to the parade. Don't go to the fireworks. For those of you who bought tickets to fireworks shows, tear them up. Or hold on to them. Sit them on your fireplace as a reminder that you didn't go. Don't go. Stay home. Be with your family. Or, go on a drive with your family. But stay away from any public celebration of the 4th of July, because this country is not acting like it deserves a 4th of July. Right? Let the racists and the Trump la-di-da cultists, let them be alone at the parades and at the fireworks displays, and let them see just how small their numbers are. Stay away from the parade. Stay away from the fireworks. Utah, every other day there's some city that has their celebration. There's plenty of fireworks to see. Okay? And while you're staying at home, here's my other suggestion. You can still fly your American flag because you want to be patriotic. If you don't want to be patriotic, don't fly the flag. Fly your American flag, but I'm also going to suggest that you fly right next to it a banner or a flag of the minority of your choosing, the cause that you support. If it's trans lives, fly a trans flag. If it's gay, LGBT issues, fly the pride flag. If it's the Black Lives Matter, fly their flag. If it's all of them, fly all their flags. How beautiful would that be to have your whole front porch decorated in all of these causes flags with the American flag dead center? That's sending a message. And it's not rioting. It's a protest. It's a nationwide, from your home protest. Stay away from the parade. Stay away from the fireworks. Fly your flag. And hashtag it. I'm not sure what to call it yet. Hashtag freedom at home. Maybe? I don't know. I'll leave that up to you guys. One of you guys come up with a clever fat hashtag, because I don't have it. Spread the word. Let's have so few people showing up to these parades that people literally go, what the hell is going on? Make them ask the question. Make them drive back through their neighborhoods and see how many of their neighbors are flying the flags of causes that are important to this country. make them feel alone for the first time. Right? Okay, that's it for this one. Not sure if I'll be around to do another video. So this is a good video to go out on. Please know your power. Don't give up on you guys as a group. Don't give up on you, the individual. Don't let them win. I think that's everything. My love to you all. Stay true. Stay steadfast. Stay free.